My soldering tools have taken over the apartment and the kitchen, and by the end of this video, they're all going to fit in this toolbox. Now this has some precedence actually, because I've got these toolboxes from Greenville College in Illinois in 2017, and this one has been my electronics toolkit since then. Now, since then I've had a few things happen. Like I moved to Philadelphia, kind of, one of the biggest disservices you can do to oneself, or not really you, but just the reason why people get stuck in poverty, things like that, is if you don't have a place to move to without pain, and if you, not paying, but pain, and also if you can't bring all your old things with you, that's a very difficult thing to recover from, and I'm only just now barely recovering from it. After 2 years, we finally went back in the middle of this summer, and we got this. We got the electronic stuff from it, so I finally have my tools. I don't have to rebuy tools, because if you had to just rebuy all of your tools, it would set you back so far. And when I was in the workshop, I actually went around and I got all the little bits and bobs of other little tools and put them in here. Unfortunately, though, because this was mostly used in my old workshop, it had some mice droppings in it, had some leaves, and a bunch of junk in it. So I took everything out of it, spent time washing it up, and I have been using it now. I've actually been gaining pace, doing restorations again. It doesn't hurt that the summer heat's gone, and now it's a little bit chilly. I can actually wear long sleeves. But I've just been having some of my tools in this husk of a 10-watt battery, and then the tools have taken over my workbench, my computer workbench, and then also the kitchen table. I finally ripped out all of these little organizers, because these are for VHS tapes, I believe, and then this is for spare batteries, because this held a VHS-C camera, like a broadcast camera. And I almost did throw these away, just like I did with the other one, because the other one, it had gotten moisture damage, and this was just all white with mold. But this one, I should save it. So I saved it. And I wiped these down, cleaned it up as best I could, and now it smells like a camera. It doesn't smell like the workshop. It doesn't have like that mouse smell, which is really difficult to get rid of. I'm unsure what all I want in this box, but I know I want to have enough space for various containers that I'll make. And then also, I want you guys' opinion. Do you think I could fit an oscilloscope in the roof of this box? I don't have a measuring thing, so I'll put the measurements up on screen right now. It's early morning and I've been burning the midnight oil. I've been doing a bunch of stuff, but I've been trying to finally get a lot of work done on my workshop, but I've also been doing things like helping to move an entire data center's backup batteries at a federal building yesterday. So I'm really tired. My soldering station, which I would like to redesign this, because there's no reason it has to be in this configuration, and honestly it kind of sucks. But the circuits are fine and the tip's fine. Well, this can go in there for now, and then later on I can actually make it a little bit more efficient. But then I decided I want to at least have a box for there. I had gone to the workshop with really gung-ho a couple days ago, wanting to make a metal box, but I was too tired because I've been working a lot doing furniture and all that. And so I 3D printed one. Turns out, though, that I didn't quite get my transparent PETG printing down pat, because I have been filming a video, because FlashForge sent me their Adventurer 5M Pro, and I've been dialing in getting it to print transparent PETG, but I feel like as soon as you print something that's kind of spindly, that kind of goes out the window. So that's good to know. But either way, we have this box that once glued together has a living hinge. And so that way, all my tools, let's see, yeah, look at that. All my tools can go in there, and then it can go like so. I measured it wrong. So I actually put the hinge on the wrong side, and it goes sideways. I don't feel like redoing it. That would be a waste of plastic. It's now a little bit too recessed to pick up, but I'll add a handle. It would have been that anyway. I got that measurement wrong too. It should have been up just a little bit higher. But I'm not going to reprint it. I'm not. It's already a box. It'll make do. It'll just be on its side. Whatever. Whatever. I'll make it work. So just for the time being, since I'm not filling this up too much at the moment, this can fit there. A little spot for the soldering station. Down here, there is this box. So I don't think I really need this. This is definitely on the chopping block. So if I make any plans for this, I might take this out, and if I make a box that drops in, I'll make it deeper. But for the time being, it does help hold the back piece in, because I'm not going to tape this in this episode, because this had like thick tape holding it. But I'm just going to set this in here, and I'll see, do I need to reallocate this space later on? Now what's annoying is this one has a stopper on it, but this one goes all the way through, so it's a little bit easier. I figure I've already been using this since 2017, so this can be a slow evolution. Now, let's take this mistake of a device. Okay, everything wants to go that way. Well, that works. A little bit too short. Okay. Oh yes. Now, I'm a little bit... I feel like I don't like the magnets on the ends of these scrapers. I think I might actually torch these and take them off, because look at this. The magnets, they're falling apart. The coverings on them are falling apart. I didn't get them for the magnets. So, let's see. You know, this would probably be the best option, actually. No, I think those are probably super glued in. I probably have to heat them up over the stove to kill the magnetism. Alright, so clearly, flux should be separate, and solder would be separate. Before we went on our trip to Illinois, this was the last of my solder, because I can't really afford to buy much solder. You know, money just goes poof towards rent. It's like 98% of our income. Such low margins. These little screwdrivers. Remember when companies used to give these out? I'm going to be honest, I've never really found a use for these. So if this is in here for another year without being used, I might throw it away or give it away or whatever. Oh, it's one of those teeny tiny little screwdriver kits. Fine, whatever. Okay, so things have differentiated a little bit. Let's see, does this fit in there? You know what? I think we can reuse this. Yeah. So this can be for solder, and then for flux, I think I would rather have a compartment in here that holds it. I do really like that I took apart this battery. You know, it's kind of my thing. Ever since I took apart that lead acid battery, oh, you know what? You know what? That battery I took apart is up here. Look at that. I forgot about that. My favorite battery. This is what I learned Ohm's law on. Kind of funny. A 1992 Duralast, a year older than me. I think this needs to go back in my PB Swiss toolkit. Right, and then here's a question. Should this go inside this box or this box? Honestly, I think having these being lost in a box of screwdrivers is just a recipe for being poked. So I will put these in here. Getting stuff on my hands already. Ugh. Now we're at the computer bench. Also the microscope bench. Well, that is actually for a tool review I'm doing. Company sent me a bunch of really nice multimeters. I've been loving them. Sandpaper. I have a bad habit of collecting flash drives whenever I help clear out an office building. And I nuke them, and then sometimes I use them, but I think I've pretty much stopped with that. I don't feel like getting viruses on my machines. This is the microscope mount. Oh yes, our trip pictures. Because I took my Mavica with us and took pictures. I'll have to show those. Well, that's good. Not too many tools actually proliferated over to here. Let's see, does this still work? Okay, I guess I killed it. This is, well, one of my friends has a bad habit of continually buying really cheap Chinese stuff, and that was supposed it makes like a hawk's like caw caw sound. It's really annoying. It's supposed to scare away the birds. The birds do not care. Here's a tool we can put away. I do want to make a holder for my PB Swiss screwdrivers that always stays out. That should not be locked away in that. And the rest of the stuff is kind of just, honestly, it makes a bit of sense that this will be here because this will be waiting for other videos. After all, it is a workbench, and the best way to get through some of this stuff is to just use it. You know, as I thought about it, I realized I had taken apart this Wise battery. I totally forgot about that. It was sitting over there. And then I thought, you know, this would also be good for raw materials that would be seldom used, such as heat sinks and other little bits of materials. So how about we expand the use of this suitcase toolbox to also be some raw materials, like this piece of, I think it's phenolic fiberglass or whatever. It was between some of the battery cells on the TimGot battery. And then, of course, I found a pair of tweezers and the flush cutters. And we'll have a small pouch. You know, I'll use these. No, no sense in throwing these away whenever they just hold screws or whatever. So we can put some wires in a bag like that. How about that? And these connectors. You know, I have a pretty good timer in my mind. I have actually that's one way I've been able to not throw everything away because I need things to do stuff with because I don't have any money. But I don't want to have stuff piling up. So, like for instance, I have a timer. Sometimes it gets away on things, and the timer is about to run out on the LED strips on the workbench, the computer bench. Now, we've had a few e-bikes and stuff like that. I'm going to move these manuals out of the way. I guess that means the floor. It's funny, whenever you get an e-bike, it just proliferates into so much stuff, so many manuals and things. Oh yeah, Wattcycle sent me this little charger. Again, things that I'm doing reviews of. Well, this is something that can go. And we have to have the PC World, the little PC World cleaning thing. Nope, there's some isopropyl alcohol on there. Header pin, thank you very much. Screwdriver, that's not mine, that's Theis's. I got that for her as a gift, right? What's nice is, for the longest time, this got messier. Well, I got more productive at the expense of this. But now I'm still getting more productive, and I'm cleaning up more. So I can stay productive and consolidate. And so I can optimize consolidation. I'm going to... Yeah, you know what? I'm going to add things like these, I guess people call them jelly bean components. Ah, and you know what? I should go ahead and add the little screwdriver kit. Getting a bit too big now. Some jumpers. These might actually go into the Arduino cabinet that I have, because I have a whole little cabinet just for Arduino stuff and was it the basic stamps and stuff. I'm not going to put glue in there because glue has too much of a chance of just going bad. But this capacitor is welcome. You know what? Let's test this. I think I saved it from something, but we can test what it is. So it's 160 volts, 33 microfarads. You know, I just realized I think I know where this came from. A place I would never expect. A light bulb. I bet this came from the driver of an LED light bulb that I took apart. Probably from that one video. Yep, 28.2. Probably from that one video that I did around Christmas last year. Okay, not too bad. I'll definitely keep that. You know, I think one of the rules I should have for this toolbox, I took a moment to clean a little more, and I just thought, I like the idea of not having a dedicated place just for soldering. Because whenever I make I make me and Theis a beautiful kitchen table, because I have an old kitchen table that I'm going to modify to be a really cute little table. I like working in here, but I don't want it to always have the electronic stuff out. And plus, I go through phases where I'll fix a bunch of things and then everything's fixed. And so it would be nice to pack it back away. But I think for this, it might be prudent for me to design this or lay this out in a way to where I can take out things for various jobs without having to spill the whole thing out. Because that was the issue before, was I had to just spill the whole thing out, and that sucked. Let's see, 33. Definitely an imposter capacitor, but that's 16 volts versus 160 volts. Well, let's do a little bit of organizing and see what we can get away with. Like, for instance, cannot go sideways, okay. Ooh, this can go sideways over here, though. Oh, they both can. Ooh, this is definitely going to make me want to rethink how I have this. Now, one thing I've actually been working on and getting a lot of progress in is I have been slowly minimizing the density in the closet. This is a closet that's I rarely even go into, but it's a good place for storage, especially of electronics. And hope I'm not asking too much, but I'm going to see if I can fit this stuff in there as well. And the rest I can put into deeper storage. I've been cleaning up the upper part quite a bit. Oh, you know what? Would this fit? I don't think so, but I don't know. I'm going to keep my options open. My only issue with those IKEA boxes is they don't really play nicely with other boxes because they're bigger on the top. Well, I totally forgot. There's this bag of my other electronic stuff. This was all the electronic stuff that I could fit in the extra space of my carry-on luggage when I came out here. So now this makes me think, okay, so I can't fit everything. It'll be good to finally go through this. I've been picking through it, but this is actually some things from Halted Electronics, HSC, that I kept from California, actually. And then other stuff from my rocket project. We have a good number of brand new items like circuit boards, so those are definitely useful. We have other things such as LED lights. Ooh, pressure transducers, 200 psi. That could maybe be in there if we want it to be a little hardware store. Adafruit AHT20 temperature and humidity sensor. Or this could go into the Arduino cabinet. It's difficult to say. Raw MOSFETs. This was my old electronics bag. This was all I had. Honestly, it was pretty limiting. I was continually out of stuff, and it was hard to find even the most basic piece. I was ripping stuff out. This is just like in 2022, 2023. This was all I had, and it's good to have more now. It's good to have an actual soldering iron that's made for solder, for soldering electronics, as opposed to one that's made for soldering power cables and stuff. I was using any little bits of wire I could find. It sucked. Okay, so I think what we need to do is we need to differentiate from the various boxes what we have. Obviously, a bike lock won't be going in there. But should a battery tester go in there? Do I need this battery tester? Does it even work? Fucking hell. Well, it worked with one of them at least. I took a few hours break, went through some things, found a box that also had some electronic stuff in it. Turns out a lot of that could actually go into the Arduino shelf. And by that point, I had already filled this up with stuff anyway. So this is now empty too. Tested out the battery tester. It works. I don't necessarily need it though. I realized that these flux pins can sit vertically with this screwdriver set that a friend gave me, sitting right there. A lot of the things fit inside of here. So we have that bag of switches from Halted Electronics, of course, but I consolidated all the LEDs into one bag. I put all the wire into one bag. And boy, did this bring me back to just 2 years ago. I had so little wire that I was scrimping every little piece of it. And another thing is, when you're in a bad spot in life, it doesn't hurt to ask for help. Some people are too proud to ask for help, or they just have a mental block where they think, this can't possibly be me. Well, yeah, if you're barely getting by, you might as well do what I did. And I asked for help. I went into a thrift shop and I asked if there's any wiring that they didn't need anymore because I didn't have any money to buy wire. And so I got some speaker wire. And I did quite a bit with that because this can carry a little bit of power. not very much, not very far, but a little bit. And I had like 5 times that much. Used it in so many videos. Quite a few little voltage step up and step down transformers. And then also I found another heatsink. I think I've decided that I don't necessarily need to have the voltage step up and step down converters in this. But what I do want are these. A while ago, I splurged and I bought a bunch of cables with 5.5 millimeter barrel jacks on the ends. And boy, are they useful. I've been using them for practically everything, it feels like. So I'm going to gather these, and they can go into the electronics box. This speaker wire, I threw out a few other sections that were only like a foot long. That can be kept for now. In the base of this, I have my Hyperion battery tester with the corresponding leads and a spare set of multimeter leads. We had a multimeter that really was not built to any quality standards, and so we ended up, you know what? That'll go in there perfectly fine. So I ended up taking it apart and throwing away the shell of it. I kept the circuit board because it looked kind of cool, but the test leads were perfectly fine. Okay, so we could keep a circuit board. I have a ton of little gear motors, then a bunch of little relays. Now I'm pretty sure those should stay in here. LEDs though, those can go in the LED bag. More power connectors. More power connectors. More LEDs, header pins. Power connector adapters. And that's it for now. Oh, another bag. Nice. This can be sorted later on. I'll probably switch out the heavy items such as current sensors and heat sinks into their own bin eventually, but this can help keep that within reason. As far as jelly bean components go, I don't think I would mind having LEDs in this bag. I definitely would enjoy having wires, not bag, toolbox. I definitely would be okay with having wires in there, especially some of the wires that I've been carrying for a while, although I do go through them pretty fast. Header pins, let's see, does it fit? Oh, I already put a pair of screwdriver set in there. I made the 3D model with it going the right way for this little section, so I can do that. I can 3D print that eventually. Now, I had little leads stuck to this because I was testing a battery backup system. I heated up the soldering iron and desoldered that, so now this can be a lid for the soldering box. It's kind of cute. Well, I just realized I got ahead of myself. I forgot to add this, my most important recent tool. A nice heavy-duty brick that one can solder on. Now this actually comes from a nuclear power plant. The Limerick nuclear power plant, to be precise. I emptied out the TimGot battery because unfortunately it's just too big, it seems. At least for this inefficient organizing method. And yeah, oh well. So it's serviceable, and this leaves it open for me having this with the lid closable, and this is now a much more concentrated collection of parts, raw components and the like. And I've cleaned up like 4 different spots in the apartment, and it's all gone into here. Oh, I forgot. When I cleaned out that bin, all the leftover stuff in it, I put in here. So a lot of this will probably have to go back in. We have an LED with a power connector on it. We have, okay, some components. And I don't think I've cleaned any of this off yet. So I'll also have to clean this off. Current shunts, wire, okay, fine. Oh, this is what those little blue handled picks came in. I'll pitch the container, but that's interesting to know. Voltage meters, sewing kits. This is the kind of engineering you do whenever you're really out of materials. Well, these are definitely classics. This is more so. I'm glad I found this. I cannot recommend one of these higher. This is a dentist's tooth scraper. There's the information. I was actually able to get that consolidated down. I put one LED in the LED bag. Actually, I should let some of the air out of that. I had to rearrange a few things. So firstly, the 5.5 millimeter barrel jack connectors got taken out of there and got put into the jumper cable pack. And then I was going to find a bag for all the heat shrink tubing, but I've just realized I can just cut it into little pieces and it'll fit in there fine. And then this is a little treat. So back when I was a kid, there was this guy named Mr. Hartel who had a resale store in Hillsborough, Illinois. And I remember I bought so much stuff from him. But he had not half off on so much stuff because I think he was doing some silly thing, like it was a sign like half off, and it was half off all the time because it's just junk that he collected. But he had some things that were not half off, so that was kind of eluded, but funny. I just remember that from when I was a kid. I bought a lot of insulators and Nintendo games and all sorts of stuff from him. Now these, I'm glad I found these because I'd recently sold some Nissan Leaf batteries, and I can give these to the person that bought them because they're really good for linking them together to make 24-volt packs. Some of that extra wire went into here, of course, and then some more tools went into there, and now that is a mess, a certifiable mess. This is going to go to the workshop, so that won't have to be in this. And I think I would like to have this Metrics Made Easy thing. The thing that's going to make or break this is the question. can I easily put the things back in here without it being a pain? Oh, and speaking of that, I added a gaffer tape tab to this. So I can just put that in, but then I can pull it out. So I don't have to reprint one. This brick might be a little bit too much of a brick for this. It's so helpful because you can heat things up on it without worry, but whatever. Yeah, that container just doesn't really fit with it all. So that's going to be my next improvements. It's almost workable, almost, with the current state of things. But if I can just organize things a little bit better, that would be far greater. I'm thinking I'll probably make a box, a very thin-walled box that can be here. But I want it to be specifically about something, like, for instance, holding components or tools. And so it will remain to be seen how this goes. The last thing to add to this is a sticker. I like stickers, but I'm going to be very picky about which stickers go on this. And I've actually thought about buying these stickers before, but I just didn't, because it's like, well, I shouldn't spend money, even though it's buying from a friend, because I'm very frugal. But my friend Gabe, who runs the channel Saver for Parts, now I say friend loosely because I've just talked to him a little bit, but that's how it goes on YouTube. Like, oh, my friend 65 Ford, you should check out his videos, kind of thing. Like, we talk a little bit. Yeah, I consider it a friend. But if anybody is like, you don't really even talk to them in person, yeah. But that's just how YouTube works. Well, he sent me a package at my request, because I was like, hey, do you have any nice junk to get rid of? And he got rid of some nice junk. And I'm still going to be doing a video on that, but I think he wouldn't blame me for pillaging the letter of pilfering the letter of this beautiful sticker that I think he has a really good sticker, and I like it. I think I've actually thought about putting this on my toolbox for over a year now, to be honest. Is it a sticker? Yeah, it's a sticker. Oh, there we go. It's unsticking. It's funny because I'll make something. I haven't made a sticker before, but I'll make something and I'll just be like, it's low quality. But then somebody else makes something and I'm like, oh, wow, this is great. It's so cool. I like that it has that. It's encapsulated. It's crystallized the low quality, but it's so pure and beautiful. Isn't it funny how we are with other people's work? But yeah, that's a pretty good sticker, I'd say. And I wanted it on my toolbox. I probably should. I feel bad that I should have just bought them. I should have bought a whole bunch of stickers because he sells them. But I took the greedy, poor route of asking to have any junk that he wants to get rid of, and he included the stickers. I got the sticker. Thank you very much, Gabe. So that's it. We're going into, pretty soon it'll be me using this for a decade, a couple years from now at least. And I hope by the time I've been using this for a decade, we can get quite a bit worked out on it. Get a little bit more streamlined, maybe get an oscilloscope on the top, and maybe get a few more stickers, but only stickers of people that I happen to enjoy the videos of, and no one that's like super big, and someone that like, oh, you can talk to, you know what I mean? And also if it has good design, because a lot of smaller channels have really nice little logo designs. People put a very unique amount of creativity into them. I still haven't made one for myself, but oh well. Yep. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you very much for watching. See ya. This has single-handedly helped me clean up the apartment to a large degree.